The owner of the laundromat you pass by every day is likely wealthier than your accountant, quietly and steadily. I spent 30 hours researching this business, my friends, and what I found truly surprised me. 4 locations, $1.8 million in annual revenue, over $3.8 million in personal net worth. The owner was a telephone company employee until one day he stopped building things and started buying things. This video is hidden in that single sentence. In every case study, I found the same thing. Those who got rich from laundromats didn't open new ones. They bought exhausted businesses from tired owners at 2 to 5 times the net operating income. They flipped the math in 90 days. 12 months later, they bought a second location. It's the exact opposite of everything hustle culture teaches, and that's exactly why it still works. Let me show you what I actually learned. By the end of this video, you will either take the laundromat business seriously or be able to explain out loud why it's wrong for you. There is no middle ground. What is this business really? My friends, what actually is a laundromat? A customer comes in, they put their laundry and detergent into the machine. They pay $4 to $8 for washing and 25 cents per minute for drying. 90 minutes later, they leave with clean clothes. You don't touch a single shirt. Your product isn't laundry, my friends. Your product is access. Access to clean and functioning machines in a safe, well-lit space. And here is what most beginners overlook. A good laundromat doesn't just rent machines. It stacks 5 revenue streams on top of each other. First, self-service, washing and drying. That's the base income. Second, wash and fold service, charged between $1.50 and $2.25 per kilogram. This is the highest margin additional income in the industry. Third, vending machines for detergent, soft drinks, and snacks. Fourth, commercial contracts with gyms, beauty salons, and Airbnb cleaners. Fifth, a commission-based dry cleaning drop-off point with a partner. Each of these streams can add $1,000 a month to an average branch. When they all come together, the difference between a struggling laundromat and a great one is born right here. Startup costs, where everyone gets scared. Friends, let's talk about startup costs. This is where most people flinch and the smart money gets excited. There are 2 paths. Path A, buying an existing laundromat. Path B, building from scratch. I'll be honest, for a first-time owner with less than $200,000 in cash, Path B is almost always the wrong answer. Why? Building from scratch means buying everything at retail prices. Rent deposit $15,000 to $40,000. Renovations for plumbing and electricity $40,000 to $80,000. 10 to 20 machines $80,000 to $200,000. Dryers $30,000 to $80,000. Card system, water heater, signage, permits. You're looking at $230,000 before serving a single customer, and you have 0 income history to show the bank you're begging. Path A reverses all of this. You aren't buying machines. You are buying a business that has a customer base, proven rent, and cash flow. You can walk in on Monday and start collecting. Small, distressed laundromats find buyers for $80,000 to $150,000. Mid-level deals are between $200,000 and $1 for $100,000. With an SBA 7A loan, your down payment might only be 10 to 30%. In a mid-level deal, the realistic total cash out is $60,000 to $220,000. Let me show you a real deal. My friends, I want to tell you about a real deal because the numbers are almost funny. A buyer documented their first laundromat purchase publicly. Purchase price, $105,000. Down payment, $36,750. Signage, repairs and branding, $12,400. Total cash out, $49,150. First year revenue after improvements, $155,200. First year net profit, $49,864. So, the first year return on investment, 101%. Listen to that again. They earned back every dollar of their investment in 12 months. 12 months. 12 months later, they bought a second laundromat for $28,000 in cash. It's now worth $75,000. This isn't a fairy tale, my friends. This is what the purchase math looks like when the seller is retired, tired, and running the business under its potential. When I read this, I double-checked, wait, is this real? It's real. Realistic revenue figures? Friends, to help you understand what the realistic ceiling looks like, let me share the real figures. A struggling laundromat makes $5,000 to $8,000 in gross monthly income, maybe $1,000 to $3,000 net. Average ones make $10,000 to $15,000 gross, $3,000 to $5,000 net. Good ones make $15,000 to $25,000 gross, $5,000 to $10,000 net. The top 10%, meaning multi-location operators, make $10,000 to $30,000 in net profit on $25,000 to $50,000 gross. The industry's profit margins range between 20 and 35% after all costs. And here is the part no one tells you. Your biggest expense isn't labor. Most laundromats run unstaffed anyway. Your biggest expense is utilities. Water, sewage, gas, electricity. This accounts for 20 to 30% of your revenue. Rent is 15 to 22%. And there is an unbreakable rule I've read from every successful operator. Your rent must stay below 25% of your gross income. As soon as the landlord pushes you past this line, your business is already dead. You just don't know it yet. Let's meet Tom. My friends, let's add a real character to this video. Because this isn't just research, it's a playbook for the person looking at their average salary and wondering if there is another way. Tom is a delivery driver. He clears $5,200 a month after tax, about $62,400 a year. It's a steady job, but there is a ceiling, and he feels it. He has $18,000 in his savings account. He also has a $45,000 retirement account he doesn't want to touch. On paper, Tom has zero business experience, no business degree, no network, no clue. But Tom has two things that spreadsheets underestimate. He drives the same 60-mile route every day. And he notices the same 3 laundromats along that route because he delivers packages to them. One of them has had a Craigslist sign in the window for 8 months. This is where it got interesting for me. Tom doesn't need a course. He doesn't need a certificate. He doesn't need a permit. He needs to make a decision. And the decision isn't about starting a business. The decision is, do I keep building the same career ladder, or do I buy the cash flow someone else has already built? I want to burn this mechanism into your brain. Its name is buy then build. 3 words, buy then build. This isn't a new concept. Charlie Munger said the same thing for 50 years. Buy a great business at a fair price. You aren't creating cash flow, you are buying it. You are buying it from someone who no longer wants to manage it. Now, I want to be honest with you. I wanted you to be able to leave this video with a genuine no. Here are 5 ways laundromats quietly kill first-time owners. Each of these is from documented failure cases. Failure, reason 1. Poor location. The building isn't on a main commercial street, or there isn't enough customer density within a 5 to 7 minute distance. Laundromats live and die on foot traffic and driver visibility. A great operator in a bad location still loses. It's that clear, my friends. Failure, reason 2. No parking. A study found that 40% of drivers in the US avoid businesses that don't have their own parking space. 40%. This isn't a small leak, it's a hole in the boat. Failure, reason 3. Rent swallows profit. Remember that 25% rule? If the landlord's annual rent increases are tied to inflation and you are in a high inflation period, your rent can exceed your income. One documented case shows a laundromat sold at a loss within 18 months due to a rent hike. If there are unlimited increase clauses in the lease, walk away immediately. It's that simple. Failure, reason for old equipment. 10 to 15-year-old machines generate about $180 in repair costs per month each and consume about 40% more utilities compared to modern equipment. There is no unmissable opportunity deal in a laundromat with old machines. It is a repair bill with an entrance. I laughed when I first read this, but it's true. Failure, reason 5. Insufficient capital. This is the big one. Buyers skip the operating reserve. They put every dollar into the purchase price, walk in on day 30, and a sewer line cracks. A $15,000 surprise? They can't cover it. The business collapses in 90 days. Not because it's unprofitable, because there was never a 6-month operating reserve. $30,000 to $60,000. Non-negotiable. None of this is scary. As you can see, my friends, none of this is scary. These are all preventable. If you do your due diligence before signing, you pull 3 years of tax returns. You pull 12 months of water bills because water consumption is effectively a lie detector for revenue. You sit in the laundromat for 30 days counting machine cycles with a clicker. You pay $300 for a camera endoscopy of the sewer line because that $300 saves you from a $30,000 surprise repair. You have an equipment technician inspect every washer and dryer. You verify the rent directly with the landlord, not through the seller. 8 steps and 1 weekend of your life. If the seller objects to any of these 8, walk away. Because what they are hiding is much worse than you think. Who should do it? Who shouldn't? Friends, let's clarify who should do this job. Who should someone with $60,000 or more in liquid cash? Someone who lives within 30 minutes of the laundromat they want to buy. Someone ready to get their hands dirty enough to change a belt in a dryer or willing to pay a technician $100 an hour to do it. Someone willing to stand behind the counter for the first 90 days to learn the customers before changing everything. Someone who wants steady, recession-proof cash flow, not rocket growth. Who shouldn't? Anyone who wants to manage remotely from day one. Anyone with less than 6 months of operating expenses in reserve. Anyone in a market with 5 or more laundromats in a single zip code. Anyone who finds receiving a phone call at 9 p.m. about a stuck coin annoying. It's not fun. It's just worth it. Tom's 30-day action plan. My friends, this is the part you'll want to write down. Days 1 to 5, read a book about buying a laundromat and listen to 5 podcast episodes from real operators. Learn the vocabulary. Learn what the cycles per day metric is. Learn what a net lease is. Pay for the lesson with hours, not dollars. Days 6 to 10. Call every major machine distributor in your area. Ask one question. Do any of your customers are thinking about retirement? These reps know which laundromats are profitable and which owners are tired. The best deals never hit the public market. Days 11 to 15. Drive around your target areas. List every laundromat you see. Enter 10 of them. Find the owner. Ask one question. Have you ever thought about selling? 80% will say no. 5% will say yes immediately. The remaining 15%, these are your real potential leads. Days 16 to 20. Scan every listing site in your state. Filter out those priced at more than 4 times the net operating income. Email 5 brokers. Days 21 to 25. Schedule tours of the 3 most promising candidates. Take the 8-point due diligence checklist we just talked about with you. Days 26 to 30. Pick the best candidate. Send a letter of intent at 70% of the asking price. Start official due diligence. Tax returns, water bills, equipment inspection, plumbing, pipe camera, lease review, and that is your entire first month. No course, no guru, no permit. 30 days, 3 real potential leads, 1 cent offer. Before I leave you, there is a book I read during this research that stuck in my mind. The Paradox of Choice. The basic idea is this. Modern life paralyzes us with too many choices. Because every path feels equally uncertain, we choose nothing. This is the real enemy of Tom, who passes 3 laundromats every day. He isn't missing the opportunity, he is drowning in it. Yes, my friends, laundromats sound boring. That is exactly the point. Boring is what no one competes for. Boring is what the internet guru doesn't make a course for because there is no upsell. Boring is how the neighbors reached a net worth of $3.8 million while watching. If you could take only one action from this week, just one, it's this. Open your phone, call the 3 laundromats closest to your home and write down their addresses. That's all. Not buying one, not quitting your job, not calling the banker. Just write down the addresses. Because the moment you write those 3 addresses in a notebook, you are doing more than 99% of the people watching this video, and the door is officially ajar. Now it's your move.